Uh, I'm completely, it's everything. The holistic approach, I believe, is absolutely critical, what Ray is talking about. And also what Allison is talking about in terms of a landscape level approach to conservation. Conservation is not done in small areas, particularly in East Africa and in Tanzania, where we have huge migratory populations of wildlife moving out of those formal protected areas, what we call national parks or reserves, and moving across wide swaths of communal land. Conservation doesn't stop at those borders, and conservation partners don't stop either. I think for far too long in this part of the world, we haven't really thought of community members as partners in conservation, as individuals who have a point of view about conservation. And we haven't realized that shared dialogue is absolutely critical to conservation success, and that in these communities, there are conservation conversations going on. It may not be the same as the conversations that are happening perhaps in a NGO office, but they're having them and they're shaping their understanding of the landscapes around them and what they want to see for their future. And the more that we embrace those values, incorporate them into the conservation conversation, and include them in the process, the greater success we're going to have overall. And I feel so fortunate in East Africa. We touched a little bit on human-wildlife conflict, about the tolerance. People are incredibly tolerant still of large animals moving around in their essentially backyards. Lions, elephants, African buffalo, dangerous animals. And they're still very tolerant of having them there. And I think historically, we've sort of haven't included their point of view. We haven't included them in terms of having them develop their own understanding of the problems they're facing and develop solutions to them. So at African People and Wildlife, that's something we really emphasize, is citizen science, working with community members to understand the conflict. We have many community members across northern Tanzania collecting data on when, for instance, lions attack livestock. They're collecting that data. They're actually using the Esri system to input that into maps. And we are now making that information accessible in real time back to the community members so that they have the power of decision making, those tools right in their hands. And this is what's helped to direct conservation interventions that we've developed in partnership with communities. One of them we're very well known for is the Living Walls Project, which are environmentally friendly, predator-proof corrals that keep livestock safe from lions and lions out of trouble. And this innovation was co-developed and co-implemented with a community of Maasai people who wanted to prevent the conflict and who also wanted to ensure that the roar of the lion would remain across this landscape. It was important to them. It's their cultural heritage. And so the more that we explore and uncover the linkages that people have to their landscapes, to their environment, to their wildlife, the way that they perceive it, the way they feel about it, the more successful we're going to be in conservation, the more inclusive we're going to be in conservation, and the more sustainable in the long term our programming is going to be.